Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have Terran Orbital Corp. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol LLAP and is leading manufacturer of satellite products primarily serving the aerospace and defense industries. Terran Orbital provides end-to-end satellite solutions by combining satellite design, production, launch, planning, mission operations, and on-orbit support to meet the needs of the most demanding military, civil, and commercial customers. Please welcome co-founder, chairman, and CEO, Marc Bell. Nice to see you, Marc.
Nice to see you too, Anna. Thank you so much for having me again.
Happy to have you again. Yes, give us a quick overview, and then we're going to jump into our questions.
Sure. So I'll give everyone a quick overview of the company. We are the leading independent manufacturer of small satellite solutions here in the United States. We do predominantly work for the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. We're headquartered in Boca Raton, Florida, and our primary production facilities are out in Irvine, California. We are very different than a lot of space companies I'm sure you guys have all heard about. As you know, we are a real company with a real backlog, real customers, a real pipeline, and a real business. And I say that because we have $2.5 billion of signed contracts today, which we are executing on. We have over 360 satellites today in production. We're on 29 different programs. The company is about a third owned by Lockheed Martin. They're our strategic partner, one of our strategic partners. We build small sats for all Lockheed's different groups. We just raised our estimates for the year to $250 million of revenues, up from 200. And what really makes us different than a lot of people is people in our space is we truly are vertically integrated. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And we're the guys who invented the CubeSat, a little satellite you can hold in the palm of your hands, which we just put one of ours on display in the Smithsonian Institution in DC at the Air and Space Museum. So if you go to the second floor and hang a left, you'll see our satellite right there. It's very exciting to be acknowledged by the Smithsonian for really creating an industry. This whole small sat industry wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us and the work that we've done. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Anna for some questions.
Well, Marc, it must be a thrilling time to be in this industry because the future is now when it comes to satellite and our growing up into space. So talk to us a little bit about what makes Terran Orbital different from all the other satellite suppliers out there.
So, if you look at our industry, it's a couple of things. You have all the big defense primes. You have Boeing, Lockheed, Northrop, Raytheon, and what they've done is they've acquired all my competitors and they assimilated them like the Borg. And so all these companies have gone ahead and they applied all their overhead and to their. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, your screen went away. Okay. They applied all their overhead to what they are doing and basically priced themselves out of the market. We have, we build buses up to 1,000 kilograms, and we've vertically integrated, meaning I believe if you control your supply chain, you control your destiny. And with that, we build our own printed circuit board PCBAs in-house, printed circuit board assemblies. We build all our own aerospace metal in-house. We build 85% of all the components that go into a satellite bus. We build in-house. We don't go to the outside world. What a traditional prime does is they go ahead, they buy components from everybody and anybody, and they try to make them work together. By us building all our own components, and we call them Lego in-house, as a node that they all have one or two plugs, and that's all it is, and they interconnect with everything else that we build, which makes assembly very, very easy and very quick and efficient.
Well, you mentioned the very well-known brand Lockheed Martin, and they invested $100 million in Terran Orbital and entered into a new long-term strategic cooperation agreement. So tell us, why did Lockheed Martin partner with you?
We've been very lucky. They've been an amazing partner. They've actually invested to date $160 million in us. And then they've been an incredible partner. We started off building very small satellites for them, 150 kilogram. Then we went to 350, then 500. Now we're up to 1,000 kilograms. So it keeps getting bigger. We're able to do. And the way the Space Development Agency was that we were at a conference with Lockheed on stage, and the Space Development Agency was moderating it, and they talked about the Lockheed Martin Terran Orbital relationship being the ideal relationship for them, as it has all the benefits of the world's oldest and largest satellite manufacturer, coupled with the nimbleness and entrepreneurialism of a small startup like us. So we're able to deliver very high value, high quality products at a very low cost to the end customer.
Well, you mentioned the SDA, so talk about that. The SDA Space Development Agency is a critical customer. So when is the SDA expected to announce the next round of awards? And are there opportunities for Terran Orbital beyond the transport layer?
So great question. So we just delivered on Christmas Day last year, the transport layer Tranche 0, which is 10 satellites. And we won Tranche 1, which is another 42, which we're going to be delivering by the end of this year. And then Tranche 2 is coming up for bid now. And those bids will be awarded on Alpha and Beta will be awarded over the summer in August. And they always said those who deliver will continue to win. And we've delivered. Our next launch with the SDA will be towards the end of July. And we're very excited about that. And, but there is lots of opportunities with other layers. The 7 layers in the proliferated warfighter architecture. I know it's a mouthful. That's what they call it. And there's the transport layer, the tracking layer, the custody layer. So we're going to start bidding on all the different layers as time goes on. So there's an enormous opportunity. And they've done a great job of showing the Defense Department how they can procure satellites for low cost. And what used to cost billions, they could do for millions. What used to take a decade, they could do in months. And that's what we've been doing for them, is proving them right.
Unbelievable. Now, Terran Orbital was awarded a $2.4 billion contract from Rivada, which we had on our symposium earlier today. So why do you think Terran Orbital was chosen over its competitors?
We were very lucky and very blessed to win this contract. Declan Ganley is the CEO there. We've known for over a year now. And it was tough. There was a lot of competitors, a lot of big primes, a lot of big companies were bidding on this. And we believe we have the best solution at the best cost. We may not be the cheapest in the world. We like to think pound for pound, we're the best. And the goal is to deliver value. It's about delivering value and making sure, it's very important that satellites have to work every time. And we watch, especially in LEO, people are building very small satellites and they're having a very high failure rate. And our goal is to make sure that every satellite works every time.
Now, the Rivada contract award includes 300 500-kilogram satellites, which is a massive opportunity. So can Terran Orbital execute on this contract? And Marc, don't just talk about the advantages, talk about some of the hurdles that you're coming up against.
Well, I hope we can deliver. No, I'm kidding. And we are very confident that we can deliver. We have a new factory that just is opening up any day now in Irvine, California. We just broke ground on that's 20,000 square feet of 25-foot high bay. We have another factory that's under construction around the corner, which is 80,000 square feet of 36-foot tall high bay, so it's clean room. But by using robotics, we're able to produce vast quantities of components. And since we make the components ourselves, we're able to do this in-house in a very short time period. So we will be able to build these satellites, build them quickly and efficiently, and get them out the door. And the goal is to build them ahead of schedule, not just on schedule.
So Terran Orbital also announced it was increasing building and manufacturing capacity. So talk a little bit more about that. Give us an update regarding your progress.
So the building, which we call 50 Tech, which we're connecting to our existing building, which we call Bronca, these are just street names, what we call them these things. We're going from 2,000 square feet of clean room to 20,000 square feet of clean room. And with the new building that we're under construction for next summer, that'll bring us an additional 80,000 square feet of clean room. So we are making massive jumps here in terms of capacity. And we started with 2 robots. We now have 20 robots under construction, and we'll have 60 to 80 robots by next summer. And that is going to drive efficiency. It's going to drive our costs down. And then all we have to do is focus on functionality, increasing the functionality of the satellite, increasing the feature sets on the satellite. So we give more people more bang for their buck at a lower price point. So the goal is to continue to lower the costs and increase the functionality, and to do it as fast as possible. Because we see a time come Q4 of 2024 that you can call, if it's one of our standard buses, just like we created standards with the CubeSat, we created that industry, we're now working to standardize buses. And so you'll see 350 kilogram buses, 450 kilogram buses that will become the standard, and you'll be able to call us up on the first of the month and deliver that to us on the 30th of the month. And that's what the Space Force's dreams about, is having responsive space. And we are giving them exactly what they want, responsive space.
Fascinating. Let's talk about why raise capital near an all-time low stock price when the company has potential positive catalysts ahead. So was last month's capital raise of $37.1 million large enough to cover the company's needs?
Yeah, it was a bridge to get us to where we need to go. We have a lot of work coming in. We need to fund growth. And I look at my first company that took public, called Globix, back in 1996. We took it public. It was a $2 stock price, and when we sold it was $120 a share, and because we delivered. And this is all about delivering. So I'm less concerned about the stock price. I'm much more concerned about delivering, because in the future we're going to have more EBITDA than we have market cap, and so I assume the stock price will adjust itself to where it should be.
Well, Richard Perry would like you to hash that out a little bit more, if you can talk about how you're fundraising in the market at these prices.
It was a one-time thing. We had a gap we had to fill to make sure we had cash, but we get paid by Lockheed as we deliver satellites, and the timetable delivering the satellites wasn't quite fitting out as we're building more space to expand for Rivada and other programs. Like our earnings call, we announced another $80+ million program for 16 more satellites. So we needed to fund more space and fund some expansion. And so we did what we needed to do, and everyone will look back and say, wow, that was a good decision from now.
Great. We have a question from Ori Santillo wanting you to explain Terran Orbital's relationship with the LMS Ignite Team and the purchase and application of solar arrays.
LMS 19. Okay, you stumped me, whoever that is. We purchased most of our solar panels from Lockheed Martin. They have a beautiful robotic solar panel assembly facility up in Sunnyvale, California. And that's where most of our solar panels come from, unless the customers direct otherwise. But I don't know what what do you call it?
The LMS Ignite Team. I guess it's the Lockheed Martin Space, the Ignite unit.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Adam Broker's unit, and I think is what he's talking about. Am I correct with that?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're a new startup. They're a great unit. Adam's amazing, and they're going ahead and they are standing up new companies, which creates new clients for us. So it's really, it's a fabulous. Lockheed is getting very entrepreneurial. They have Lockheed Ventures now. Now they have this other unit which just does venture capital, which is run by Chris Moran, and now they have Adam Broker doing this Lockheed, creating new businesses, and which all benefits us. So we're thrilled.
And Roger Valdez says your revenue has doubled for the 3 months ending on 3/31 compared to the same period last year, but so did your cost of sales. So will this trend continue, or when do you expect either sales or costs to taper going forward?
You're going to see eventually we hit an inflection point. So what happens is we have to hire people, call it 6 months ahead of a program. And we have to build space, call it 18 months ahead of when we believe we are going to get work. So we look at our pipeline and we try to figure out how that pipeline went, what are the odds and the P-win ratio, what that's going to convert into backlog. And we're going to get signed contracts. And then we have to perform. So we can't start hiring people when we go ahead and get a contract. So we know we have very good insight as to what we're going to win, what we're not going to win. And so we are staffing up appropriately, but eventually you'll call later this year, beginning next year, you're going to see that very much level off.
And Max wants you to talk about your competitors. Who is your biggest competitor, and how do you stay up front? And what do you have that is proprietary in your technology?
We had a lot of competitors at one point. We had Millennium that got acquired by Boeing. We had Blue Canyon got acquired by Raytheon. We had York that got acquired by AE Industrials. We're really the last man standing for the most part, other than the foreigners like Airbus or Leostella or what have you. We're the last man standing of the U.S. owned. We do a lot of classified work, which is one of the benefits of being one of the last man standing. And the Congress talks always about how they want to break the stranglehold of the primes, and we're the perfect way to do it. We're small, we're independent, we're nimble, and we don't have all the overhead the big primes do. But we partner with the big primes, which enables them to lower their price point down. So it's really a win-win for everybody.
I have a question from Robert concerning the 80 million constellation, asking, could that be part of a larger contract in the future? Plus, Lockheed announced Crescent Lunar Services and the Australian Defence Constellation. Will Terran be involved in these contracts?
So as far as the first question, we are always seeing how little constellations grow into big constellations. People test the waters, they get their toe in the water, and then it's a crawl, walk, run approach, as we call it. So that has been with almost all of our customer base. As far as other Lockheed programs, there is that big win with the Australian government is for a very, very large satellite. That's out of not what we do. We build small sats in low Earth orbit. That's for a ginormous satellite. But there are other opportunities with lots of countries around the world to build things like communications layers, image like ISR, which is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. So we're getting since the Ukraine war broke out, we've been getting bombarded by people, lots of countries out there looking to purchase satellites, looking to control their own destiny in space, afraid the U.S. isn't going to show up. And the Ukraine also showed how we're lacking in ISR in space. There's some people in government who are saying that only 4 to 6% of all intelligence needs from space are being met today. That there's a huge deficit, and we have a lot of catching up to do. You've got the Chinese and to a lesser extent the Russians out there, and we have to maintain our leadership, not only our thought leadership, but our true leadership in space.
Chris has a question concerning robot technology. How will this new robot technology affect your production costs? Will you still need the same amount of employees?
What it'll do is we will be able to do more satellites with the same amount of employees. So the robots we're not going to be reducing our workforce, but we'll be increasing our throughput dramatically. So you think of it, we went from 10 satellites a month in the old facility to the new facility, we're at 20 satellites a month, to the one we're building that'll be open next summer that'll bring us over 40 satellites a month. But we're going to do that without quadrupling our payroll. And so we're going to do that with a lot of robotics for manufacturing.
Pete wants you to talk a little bit about your development. He's a new investor, so he wants to know just a quick rundown of the basics. When was it founded, and what void is this filling?
So Terran Orbital was started about 13 years ago, and we started it to purchase a company called Tyvak, which was the inventor of the CubeSat, a co-inventor of the CubeSat. And it was a small company. We built CubeSats. We built satellites for NASA predominantly for the first decade. And I came in as CEO a little over 2 years ago, but I didn't want to just build CubeSats. I wanted to build big satellites. So we cut the deal. We cut a strategic cooperation agreement with Lockheed Martin. They in turn invested $160 million. And that put us on a path for us to go out and start building much larger satellites and build them in mass quantity.
Andy Norton wants to know, is an acquisition of Terran part of the strategy? And is there any technology you would like to acquire?
Well, there's never a strategy to be acquired. There's always a strategy to get profitable. And, once we're profitable, you never say never. But the reality at this point, we're focusing on building our business. We're focusing on getting EBITDA positive. That is our mission right now for the first half of next year, is to get EBITDA, show the world we can be EBITDA positive, let the stock then correct itself, and then we'll see where we go from there. And that opens then up the door for M&A. There is lots of things out there we'd like to buy. There are things out there we don't make. We don't make our own propulsion at the moment. We don't make our own crypto radios at the moment. We make 85% of the components that go in a satellite, and I'd like to make 100% of everything that goes into a satellite. So those are things that we're very eager to talk about.
And William Watchell wants to know, what is Terran's current capacity on a per month basis to produce the 42 SDA Tranche 1 transport satellites?
So we have to deliver the Tranche 1 transport satellites by April of next year. Our capacity right now, that's 42. Our capacity right now is 20 satellites per month. So we have more than enough capacity to handle the Tranche 1 satellites.
And Adam wants to know, are you currently looking for other strategic investment partners?
Not at the moment. We're very comfortable with where we are.
And Everett wants to know, who are your customers, and are you geared more to the government or the private sector?
We are very much about protecting the warfighter. That is my primary mission and goal. And even with the commercial customers like Rivada, they're looking to service the DoD as well. So, it's all about keeping the warfighter safe, protecting the national interest. That's what's important to me. And that makes up 91% of my revenues, give or take, at the moment.
And Robert wants to know, how many employees are you estimating to have once your new Irvine facility goes live?
We have about 500 and change today. Next summer, we could be about 700, and that's probably where we'll cap out. But we are spending a lot of time and energy looking at things like AI. We're building a data sciences group now as we're going ahead and building out new software for things like command and control of satellites, for production efficiencies. There's a lot of things we can be doing to enhance our business.
And Tony Propos asks, do you currently have any products in development that you are not consolidating for revenue yet?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And Rod wants you to give us some milestones, anything upcoming that you can lay out for us.
The big milestones are the launch of the T0 satellites coming up in July. It's very exciting. The delivery of our first T1 satellites for the transport layer, the ITU vote for Rivada, everyone's looking at, and we're very excited about it. And we have a lot of confidence in Declan and his team, and looking forward. Just want to get started building them.
And with the estimated 120 million revenue in Q4, could you break even in Q4?
No, but we're looking to the first half of 2024 to be EBITDA positive.
Great. And for our viewers, do you have any closing remarks and key takeaways you would like to leave us with?
Unfortunately, we've been labeled a new space SPAC, and that's just a dirty word nowadays. It is SPAC's a four-letter word, and it's just new space is a bad neighborhood, as you have a lot of people who did use public venture capital to go out. But unlike all of them, we have real backlog, real revenues, a real strategic partner. We're a real company, and we're growing at an incredibly fast rate. And people have to stop lopping us in with everybody else and start looking at us as who we are.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're going to be joining us for the roundtable discussion we have in about 20 minutes. So thank you for your time with us for this presentation, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes for our roundtable.
Thank you, and live long and prosper, LLAP.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Marc. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, join us in about 20 minutes. We have a fascinating round.